Alright, hello. So this is part two. Very awkward. As I mentioned earlier, I was expecting it to cut off earlier than an hour, and it did. Turns out there's like a continuous recording function, so like it just splits up the video into multiple smaller files. So I could have kept recording, but I didn't know what was going on. So now I know at least, but I did clear out my barracks so that the only units in my barracks were merged units or 5 stars. So we can take a look to see how many dupes we've gotten of some units. Cough cough Virion. 7 4-star Virions there. Oh boy. But so far, we're not even halfway through. We have 8. Oh boy, 8 harmonized adult tickies, 2 duo Shamirs and 5 duo Askers, and then some 5-star special focus. So now I gotta make a lot of manuals, so we will be back to continue our summoning. I was planning on continuing summoning a different day, but I guess we're already here, so let's do it. Alright, now we have about, what was it? Was it 170 slots again? I don't know. We're not gonna care too much. Time to keep summoning, I guess. And this time we have Do Not Disturb on. Definitely a long summoning for sure. I feel like another reason I wanted to move or split it across 2 days is of course to change the summoning tables, Kappa. But jokes aside, I wanted to just have more possible topics to talk about. Yeah, let's keep talking about our future plans because we keep interrupting ourselves on those tangents. But the big thing is we're gonna go hunt for what legendary hero we want to +10 out of the wind and fire seasons. So right now, for example, from wind, it's pretty much just legendary Alencia, but I'm not really sold. It would be pretty much just for the mobility, which is nice. I don't think it can age poorly until we're in a meta where no one can teleport because everyone has skills to prevent teleporting built into something, so where you're not really compromising on much. And then from fire, it's like legendary Hinoka. He's fine right now. It's just again long term. Oh my gosh, we actually are gonna have absolutely bonkers rates from pulling 11 tickies, aren't we? Absolutely bonkers rates, man. Is that the 9th one? Or is that the 10th one? I kind of hope it's the 9th one rather than 10th one. I'm not trying to actually go bonkers rates on Tiki, but you know, if we do, we do. Let's take a look actually. We are at 9, so yeah. We're about 1,000 orbs in. Not even, I don't think. I should probably have checked from the first episode where we were at. But we didn't. Here we are. Going into 1,000 orbs and only having 5 duo askers, not ideal, but of course we've been getting way more harmonized adult tickies, so it's understandable. Because the overall number of 5 stars is pretty bonkers. 16 focus heroes in less than 1,000 orbs. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. It's really bonkers rates considering we're sniping on this type of banner. But that's just the luck of the draw so far. Again, it doesn't matter until we finish getting those last 6 copies of Duo Asker, and who knows how long that's gonna take, given we haven't seen them in a bit. And we're starting to lose our streak of getting colorless orbs frequently. It's a little worrisome, gotta say. But yeah, we're looking at a legendary hero to +10. I don't know if we're gonna +10 any more mythics. If we did, it would be for Astra season, because for If we wanted to plus 10 from light season, it would be probably either the latest greatest light mythic or Ash, because we already have her partially merged. So we might as well sunk cost fallacy and max her out. Especially if she's with a shared focus that's pretty solid for us, and why not? But yeah. Another thing I'm running into is just related to mythics is on anima defense specifically. I want to put too many mythics on my defense because they'll put something on the table. I think it really just comes down to I don't have a reasonable far save unit for defense, so I use Femortis because he gets the job done against basic units. He's never going to survive the Ultra Nukes no matter what I do. So, because turn 1 exists. But hey, we get our 6 dual askers. We're officially past the halfway mark. And we are also about halfway to 2k orbs spent. So, overall, not bad. We're basically on track. Actually, this is probably a bit more than 1k orbs spent at this point. But we're basically on track to be pretty average Joe rates for plus 10ing dual asker, just because we've been getting so many tickies. It would be funny to get the last 2 tickies soon just to make the statistic really dank, but ideally we get both of them to plus 10 very close to each other in terms of orbs spent, but it's not the end of the world. It's gotcha. There's inevitably going to be a boatload of variants because we are but just one person summoning with a minuscule amount of orbs on a banner where there's so many more summons that happen. So there's that. But yeah, going back to the mythic problem and anima season. So we have Femortis for far save, and then of course we have Freyr because it's Freyr and definitely totally balanced in every way possible. Yeah, his C skill is not balanced in any way right now. It's certainly a C skill of all time for 2023 standards, that's for sure. And then at that point, typically, of course, most of the time, the bonus anima mythic if we want to actually score reasonably on defense. Because we don't want to go all in with some epic defense that scores poorly, because inevitably we're going to get matched up with someone who's going to absolutely maul that defense, and then there goes all our lift. Because we decided to go for that strategy. I don't ever think that's a great strategy, especially if you're trying to get to rank 1. Yeah, no. Or at least close to rank 1 if you're casual like us at this point. Casually dorping around in top 1k with the max possible offense scoring on occasion. Yeah, there's that. So that's already 3 mythics, and for optimal scoring, that's the max number of mythics you can bring on your defense before you start tanking your score a bit. And so I wanted to also include a unit like maybe Arvel, for example, or Mirabilis, but not really Mirabilis. It's more for just having a dancer. And then also buffing stats, because she buffs res, I want to say, which is helpful for anima defense. It's green here, right? I was pausing and I was like, wait a second. This doesn't seem quite right. And yeah, it wasn't quite right, indeed. Got 1100 orbs in or something now. Where's the dual askers, is what we may ask of you, Clarine. Just a gotcha summoning in a nutshell. We go on a hot streak, and then we go on a cold streak, and then of course the cold streak has to end eventually. Trademark, totally not copium. And then we go back on a hot streak, but you know, that's how it is. And unfortunately for us, pity rate's been going up a lot. It's very similar to our legendary heroes banner summonings. That's just how the statistics roll. But I think if you're trying to pull a specific 5-star colorless focus here on this banner, you have to spend on average over 100 orbs, which is disgusting, to say the least, for rates. For orb efficiency. There's other types of banners will have way better. It'll even have like double the rates better. One every 50 or so orbs, for example. But here we are, suffering in colorless meme world. The one thing I forgot to do, because I didn't take this into account, is from talking this much, you're gonna have dry mouth, and you should probably get some water, huh? I also noticed I've left the clock running. I usually remove the clock so the video renders better and so we don't date our content, but it's whatever. You can't tell if it's AM or PM, Kappa. It doesn't really matter. I guess it's the show that we're summoning in real time and not fast-forwarding the game. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's already there. It's just about as... We really botched up this recording. We didn't put up do not disturb at the start. We wouldn't have notifications flying everywhere on the screen, and then we didn't even turn off the clock. And that is our 10th harmonized adult Tiki. Oh boy. We are about a little, or we're getting closer to 1,200 orbs in. And if we, goodness me, if we plus, that is absolutely out of this world bonkers rates, and we're probably, it's gonna be like every other time when we're mass summoning for hero. We always max out the hero we're not actually here for, and then suffer trying to get the rest of the copies while still summoning copies of the other unit. But I guess it means we have fodder. That's really what it means if that ends up happening. I don't know if I'd be content. Well, what I would prefer. Would I rather spend a few extra orbs, 100 orbs, along the way to get a couple extra harmonized adult Tikis, or would I rather save those 200 orbs and just get the extra dual asker, 11 dual askers sooner? I don't know. Hard to say. I think because of where we're at right now with our unit barrack structure, where we're mostly just trying to nuke stuff, and it's the mentality of you can't get nuked if you nuke them first. So I feel like having armored flow fodder for us isn't that useful. But I'm sure it would do something. Like sit in combat manuals. Or sit in our... What is it even called anymore? I don't even remember what it's called anymore. But the extra storage space reserves. There we go. I just remembered. Reserves. Alright, it's time to get the 11th harmonized adult Tiki and get a plus 10 and about 1,200 orbs. Yeah. That'd be crazy, but we're not here. If we were here for Tiki, this would be amazing, but we're not. We technically are, because we all know from our past experience mass summoning on legendary and mythic heroes banners, we're always going to end up plus 10ing a bunch of the other units along the way, Kappa. I wish that happened a few previous instances, but can't complain about most of the rates we've gone for previous banners. A lot of them were pretty like either average or slightly worse than average, especially when you don't factor in the 4-star special focus, because I'm gonna be real, sometimes they don't really feel like 5 stars. But it is what it is. I think the most interesting thing so far is how few of the 4-star special focus units we've gotten. I don't actually know the statistics on that one. What's the rate? Is the rate different It probably is. I also noticed we're at 7.5%. I guess our pity rate technically has been up. There we are. We're back on the dual asker train. Woohoo, number 7. We're just getting out of there because I think at this point we're going for orb efficiency. Unless we get up to, I think I said 8% earlier. That seems reasonable. Get up to around 8% plus, then we'll do it. Maybe. If it's red, I see no point. Even green, I don't really see a point. I guess green, we have neither of the units, but it's like, I guess maybe a little fodder. I don't really feel like Anna as a unit for us would be particularly useful. Again, between the two, Anna's definitely more useful for Arena Assault because just being an archer. Because of all the flying units flying around the flyer dominant maps, or flyer biased maps. Yeah, no, it's not great. Clearly the summoning tables have changed because I feel like adults been showing up more than once. But we're just trucking along. Let me just think about it though. If we're expecting a 5-star on average around every 100 orbs, that's 20 summons. So that's about, yeah, 4 pity rate increases. So whenever we pity break before 8%, we're doing okay, I think is the idea. But the key point is we have to be getting dual askers in that time frame. That's the problem. We're waiting for our last harmonized adult Tiki. Watch somehow the game troll us so hard that we managed to plus 10 dual asker before harmonized adult Tiki, even though we have more copies of harmonized adult Tiki by a mile right now. And by a mile, I mean we're literally at 10, I'm pretty sure. We have, I think, 7 dual askers. So that is certainly a thing of all time. At this point, we're around the range where, yeah, we just have getting closer to the more average draw rates, the plus 10. One of the two colorless focus heroes here, so kind of whatever. We're also below 1,000, well, I guess below 4-digit orbs now. Feels sad, man. Technically speaking, if we want to go farm some orbs, we could go back up, but it's not gonna matter. We're definitely, unless we hyper Luxac at the end, we're definitely going to need a few hundred orbs to get the last copies. That's just fake gacha for you, especially on colorless, where all the 3 and 4-star heroes are absolutely fantastic to pull. Super excited to pull in match. You know what I would like in this game is a way to like basically turbo summon, because all these orbs are already predetermined for what unit they are. So why can't they just give us the option to like multi-select? I want to summon these orbs and just summon them. You can either have it set up so you can do them all like at once, back to back to back, or you can have them all happen kind of at once. Oh, is it actually happening? Number 8. It's time for number 9. We're getting there, we're getting there. Definitely on pace to do better than average, I think, which would be cool. It's been a while since we've done that, I think, on super big mass summonings like this. But I gotta say, one thing I really want to do at some point is just go through one of my summoning sessions, just get a whole distribution, or not distribution, a whole data set of all the orbs I saw, just for the fun of it, just to see how everything sorts out. Are green orbs as rare as they say they are? I mean, of course, again, the amount of orbs we're looking at here is statistically insignificant. We would need way more orb samples to get any data that approaches the expected amount of each, at least the approximate expected amount. But, oh, there we are. Last copy, I'm pretty sure, unless I'm trolling myself and I miscounted. So if we start around, I'll say around, that would be 1350. Is that something around 1350? I didn't check the pity rate there, but it doesn't matter, it was red orbs. Is that 11 copies here? 1350 orbs? Indeed, that is 11. We have 8 dual askers now, so you need 3 more. And I think the ideal is we have about 400 orbs left, but we'll see. If we're around average rates and ideal, again, we'll only need to spend about 300 more orbs. Not actually, but we're just copium at this point. But yeah. It would have been a real meme though if we plus 10 duo asker before plus 10ing harmonize adult ticket. That would have been funny. A meme of all time, but no, Gotcha said no. We definitely got a bunch of lucky summons though to save us a ton of orbs. It's like, just think about it this way. If you, in an absolute vacuum, be like, okay, on average, it takes 100 orbs to get a single copy of a specific colorless unit, and you would expect to spend about 2200 orbs. Again, this is completely in a vacuum. This is not how you should be thinking about it, but certainly a way to think about it. Let's put it that way. So we started with over 2,200 orbs, so logically we should expect that we will totally plus 10 dual asker before we run out of orbs. There we go, number 9. The countdown is coming up. Will we get a back-to-back? We haven't gotten a back-to-back 5-star yet, I don't think. I think it's just been single 5 stars, which seems to be the new trend for us in a lot of our summoning sessions. I feel like a lot of times when we get to higher pity rates, we'll just end up pulling one focus 5-star and that's it. Because I guess our pity rate wasn't high enough. Yeah, but it is, of course, never guaranteed to get multiple focus 5-stars in a circle, even at super high pity rates. Unless you're at the almighty 100% pity rate, then I would hope so. I've never been there and kind of don't want to ever, but it would be half funny, half sad to get all the way up there. It takes quite a bit of luck, actually, to get that far without a focus 5-star, just statistically speaking. But with the number of players who play this game, the number of summonings that happens, of course, naturally, it's pretty probable that someone will get there at some point in the game. And I'm sure there's been many people who have. Unfortunately. But it is what it is. Now we're just building up our pity rate, waiting for the next 5-star focus hero who's hopefully dual asker at this point. I think honestly, given what I mentioned earlier about how we're mostly going for units that nuke before they get nuked, I feel like it's better for us in this scenario to just beeline our way to plus 10 dual asker, and so we would just need the next 2 colorless focus 5-stars to be dual asker instead of harmonized adult tiki, but I don't think we're gonna complain if we get an extra copy. Because of course, any extra copies of her after this are just all fodder, of course, because we already have plus 10 copy. I think the interesting question is, do we have all the boons, possible boons, on her? It is possible, even when you pull 11 units, for that not to be true, which is interesting. Because then you have to use trait fruits. Or something. Nope, they're unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now we have fodder. It is what it is. Well, we could make amends, because we got the quad colorless 3-star units here. Also, you can see our battery is draining really fast, because phone is toasty from recording and playing this game for way too long. Oh, we finally see another 4-star special focus. Again, it's been a hot minute since we've seen one. Of course, the focus rates are a little jank, but plus attack is cool. I think I already have one at plus attack, so it doesn't matter. But certainly a unit of all time here. Oh, the game is lagging now. Everyone's getting tired. Oh boy. Yeah, at this point, I don't think I can talk about a bunch of other random things. I guess we can just talk about our overall Ether Raids memeing experience with the one team only challenge for so many years now. I can't believe it's been years since we started doing this. It's pretty ridiculous to think about. I think the big thing for me right now is the structure upgrading is so expensive. I feel like using Celestial Stone to buy Ethers. This is also kind of unlucky that somehow we've gotten triple Duo Shamirs and 0 Spring Benedettas. Spring Benedetta is pretty fun, but not necessary. Similar to her other, her tome memery with the chip damage, but she has teleporting options, so that's certainly a thing. But yeah, I can't complain at triple Duo Shamir because I'm not gonna merge past +1, and even if I do, I don't know if I would, because she has some fodder that's definitely useful. I don't know if I would want like remote Sparrow on Legendary Crown, for example. I was about to summon blue, goodness me. I was like, there's no colorless orbs here. Remote Sparrow, yeah, the thing is, Legendary Crown already gets damage reduction. Sometimes he can still get one shot through the damage reduction because he's taking that much damage. Especially against some units that reflect the damage he does, because let's just say you can do a little bit of damage. Yeah, I don't know. We could, I guess, if I wanted to improve his player phase. The thing is, we're still running attack speed push 4 on him in 2023. It's helpful at times, unironically. It can be helpful, for example, if I'm having him attack a bunch of times for getting him to Wings of Mercy range. But then once he's in Wings of Mercy range, then he gets to the point where he has too low HP. And then so attack speed push literally does nothing. So I don't feel like that's ideal. Speaking of ideal, pun intended, attack speed ideal would be just fine on him. It would just guarantee that most of the time I can get the same amount of stats both phases, no big deal. And occasionally I can get +9 versus +7, which would be cool, but not necessary. And then there's what I originally thought I wanted, which is the attack speed Hexblade. Having that adapted damage can be super strong for him, especially against some units that really have more defense than res. Being able to target the res would be nice. Although, of course, the thing is with our kit on him running low attack defense, he debuffs a good amount of defense, so sometimes it kind of just evens out. So the main value of Hexblade is yet another bonus effect to give him +2 more stats to all of his stats. And then of course the more recent skill is attack speed prime, and that might sound like the pun intended prime candidate for his A slot, because it gives you at least the option of having close counter on him. Okay, we got a Brave Veronica. I remember when we used to do meme Bissell clears with Brave Veronica on those meme squads. Boy, have things changed a lot since then. Is that another colorless orb? I have no idea. We're just so half brain dead at this point. It is what it is. What was I even talking about? We're going super brain dead now. Oh no. Trying to remember. Right, attack speed prime. It's nice to have the close counter option. It's just the bonus thing is the issue. Because Crom himself doesn't start with any bonus statuses. You have to get that via your other skill slots. The only time he gets his own bonus effect is when you're running like you're running support for him. Dual Asker, of course, as you mentioned earlier, would be a nice candidate to already off the bat give him 2 bonuses. But yeah, he'll get his bonus doubler effect from the change fate after using the change fate 2, but it's just like at that point there's too much setup if you want to get that close counter running. But at the same time, it's like sometimes you might end up stacking too many bonuses if you're trying to make sure he doesn't have close counter. You have to make sure he doesn't have, what was it, at least 4 bonuses, so you have to give him at max 3. And the fact that you get the guaranteed bonus effect when you use his assist can be a problem, but that's more niche things where it's just you kind of have to plan that out before you get yourself into a situation where that becomes a problem. But speaking of problems, we're at 9 duo askers, right? And I'm getting around that time where we would probably expect a focus 5-star, and at this point we're hoping it's not harmonized adult Tiki, because I don't think we're gonna need too many more copies. This is a really bad circle if we get pity broken here, but it's just Lucas. You. But yeah, we're in the range where if we want to summon full circle, we can. Yeah, I don't think we will. But all at this point I'm hoping for is that we get pity broken on a colorless orb. That's all I'm hoping for at this point. He's at 8.5 now. And it's probably going to keep climbing because we always got to have one of these during our summoning sessions. This is the... oh no. This is the oh no part of the video. Alright, I'll go for the blue orb just for the fun of it. I don't think we're going to go for the green or the red orb. We do have a Cordelia, so I guess that's potential Gale Force fodder. Unfortunate. Now we're getting to that territory where we're gonna need to start luck sacking a bit if we want to have some orbs left. We might end up just having bad rates for dual asker in exchange for insane rates for harmonized adult. It is what it is. I'd rather have it the other way, at least so we have the option of bailing out. We can always just wait to plus 10 or later, for example, but we've already gone the other way. Got a Loki here, which is cool. She definitely was in the meta, anti-meta for a little bit, and then she's been floating around ever since, like many other healers. It's just that at this point, for healers to be super meta, they have to be way too broken, and so, of course, intelligent systems, like even with dancers here, instead of giving them more broken effects, they just make them more viable for combat. Which is certainly a thing you can do, because if dancers basically become just a generic, like any old unit that new unit that comes out, but they also get the perk of being able to run a dancer sing skill, then yeah, they're just gonna be the dominant units in the meta. Like, just imagine if it's not too hard. Don't think about it too hard, but if like Brave female Corrin had the ability to use dance while being a top of the meta Farseid unit, you know, and obviously people are going to go for those units. Because of course, if you don't want to run dance or sing, you can just not do it. You can run some other assists. There's no binding pact like the old Faye story where all you have. Okay, so we were talking about getting 2 copies of harmonized adult Tiki after plus 10 years. Surely this means the next time we get pity broken on Carlos, it'll be the last duo asker, right, Kokio? We're still doing fine on orb spending though. What is this, around the 1800 orb range or something like that? Which I think is around average. It might be a little better than average. I would think we're gonna be floating around average range, but we're now starting to get more of the 4-star special focus, which is fun. Not really necessary, but certainly a thing. Yeah, for Arena Assault nowadays, I used to build healers way back when as units who could also fight and chip down units. But in this meta, they really can't do that without running the... Oops, I almost screwed up the recording there. You can't really do that without running the more premium skills like Poetic Justice to get that dealt damage. Or just having Raffle Staff in general, because of course not every healer comes with the Raffle Staff and Dazzling Staff combo, as people like to call it. Razzle Dazzle from way back when. Yeah, I think at this point we have crossed the 1700 orb mark. Yeah, 1700 orbs. We're actually doing... That's probably better than average if we get duo asker soon here. Assuming we are at 10 copies, I am so brain dead that we've lost count, so we'll embarrass ourselves when we get this next copy, when it's actually only the 10th one, but we're not going to worry about that. I don't think there's any point of summoning for more duo askers. I realistically am not going to be chucking defense res finish onto anyone. And if I do, I'm probably going to allocate orbs on a different banner to summon, because this is not the type of banner you want to summon if you're trying to grab tons of fodder for as few orbs as possible. The rates are just not ideal. But of course, if you have some particular units that can only show up on certain banners like these, then yeah, you kind of have no choice but to pause the video and clear barracks again. But let's just go to the menu and look at the new stash. Of course, we left some units from the first set of summoning, so... But, yep, it looks like we are at 10 duo askers, so we're almost there, but be right back. Alright, we're at 150 barracks slots, so at this point we don't have enough orbs to even fill the barracks, so just the rush to the final duo. Oh, there you go. Rush to the final duo asker, and just for shizzles and giggles we'll summon the blue ones. And the off chance that having 1% more pity rate will get us first copy of Spring Brandena or something, but I'm expecting nothing here. Yep, I would say overall the summoning session is pretty darn solid, because what is that? I want to say it's about 1730, 1740 orbs. And we plus 10, of course, both focus heroes, which is a win. And we got some extra 5 stars along the way as well. Let's go to the regular barracks shenanigans. Yep, 11 duo askers, and of course we got 14 harmonized adult tickets. We got 3 duo Shamirs, and a few rando 5-star special focus heroes. But yeah, insanely good summoning session. Heck, I'll even pause the video and we'll see what exactly the orbs we spent were in the approximate rate. Alright, the game crashed. 10 out of 10. But it looks like we used 1739 orbs. Of course, it's slightly less if we didn't summon those blue orbs for shizzles and giggles. But yeah, we ended up plus 10 duo asker pretty much right around average rates, which is a win. And again, this is the rates for specifically plus 10ing, or the rates for plus-setting a specific colorless focus unit. Um, and of course, we did much better with harmonized adult Tiki. I'll put some of the meme statistics that are very approximate in the description, of course. So that's gonna be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, it's East Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye.